Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're going to start off today with a quote from Kaylea, and it is right here. And as I read this, I invite you to comment wherever you are, put in the comments how this makes you feel. So the quote is, Forest Preschool is cultural renewal, the preservation of humanness. I'm going to read it again. Forest School is cultural renewal, the preservation of humanness. All right, write in the comments how that makes you feel, what that invites from you, and we are going to dive in. So again, hello everyone. My name is Meagan Duncan. I am the founder of Connected Kids Thrive, Positive Behavior Guide for Nature School. We are doing our founder interview series for nature-based school founders. And today we have Kaylea Worm with Earthworm Forest School. And I cannot wait to get to hear her. I can't wait to invite her to share her story and her wisdom. And so with that, I'm going to let you all know how this interview series is going to work. So I'm going to ask three essential questions. Number one, Kaylea, what inspired you to get started? Number two, what is an essential challenge that has really defined your school and how have you overcome that? And then number three, what little nuggets of wisdom or what do you wish you had known earlier that would have made your journey a little smoother that you can share with our audience? Because our audience is not only nature school founders, but it's also people who potentially are thinking about creating a nature school, and there's parents here who are always, listening and growing. And then there's educators here too who are going to take nuggets away from this. So with that, please introduce yourself and then let us know what inspired you to start this journey.
Great. Those are great questions, and I'm so excited to share. So, yes, I am Kaylea Worm, and I live here in Crestone, Colorado. And I started my forest school here 6 years ago after 6 years of teaching in other places all around. And so, to answer the first question, what really got me encouraged to start work like this, I actually went to college for psychology. And over, time and time again in psychology, it was known that the first 7 years pretty much shape the person's entire life. So I thought, well, instead of being a psychologist or a therapist or whatever, that I might just go way back down to the basics and help people build their foundation from childhood in those first 7 years. I was a young mom myself, so I did have my kiddo along with me, and so I thought that it made a lot of sense to get into the childcare work, not only because it was practical for my life, but because it really was so clear to me that that is how to make the greatest impact on not only the individual, but humanity in general.
I think, yes, you're right on. Those 7 years are critical, and how amazing that you chose to really build that foundation in an everyday way versus an hour here and an hour there, as a therapeutic setting would be. And so you're Waldorf inspired, right? And Waldorf really digs and honors those 7 years. That's kind of what their foundation is based on. My kiddo goes to a Waldorf school as well. And so, what do you love most about Waldorf?
I love that it really tends to the child's whole body and mind and spirit. It's so creative, and it lets the kids really be in this flow state, this whimsical energy that they have at Waldorf. I think that's very natural for the kid. And I think that it's really easy for them to drop in. I think it makes transitions and learning actually very, very easy when everything in them is tended to, not just their academic mind, but
Mhm.
even though the academic mind isn't such the focus is in, sitting there doing worksheets, it actually really, really enhances their academic capabilities.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So thank you for
Mm-hmm.
sharing what inspired you. So what is a challenge that you have faced that has been super pivotal in your journey? And how did you kind of overcome that? Or are you still working on that?
I would say, I would say personally, it's this is such a need, especially here in this community. I'm actually the only licensed childcare provider here in Crestone, and there's lots of kids and lots of families. And so when I started off, I overextended a bit, um, and it wasn't really very actually helpful, not only for me and my family life, but with so many, I opened it up for ages 1 through 7, and we had like 30 kids, and I had 5 employees, and it was my very first year. Um, and I wished that I would have. It's taken a long time to actually understand what I did have to offer, so that I could really fully serve the families who are in my care.
Oh wow. That's I feel like a lot of people are going to resonate with that. Just this idea that we can go so big and serve so many and then whoa, like um
Right.
going back narrow and really finding the kiddos that you can serve, to the highest degree. How crazy that, I mean, obviously Crestone must be a really tiny community. Um,
Yeah.
I'm also in Colorado, in a large, in the not the big, not Denver or anything, but we don't have very many nature schools either, and it's alarming. And so that's part of what the goal of this series is to do, is to inspire others that are thinking about it to just go in. And so with that, what do you wish, I mean, this kind of goes, I guess, with what your last response was, but what do you wish you would have known at the beginning of your journey that you can share with our audience, to encourage them to think about and maybe, look at or approach in a different way?
I think in the beginning, I was overthinking the wrong things. I was really stressed on how my website might look. What is my logo going to look like? What does it look like when I have employees? And do I do 1099s, or do I do this and that, the business structure? And all of that is, you need to think about, and it's a lot to handle and to understand. But I think I put a little bit too much focus onto that. And then when it came down to being present with the kiddos, that was even more of a challenge, because then I realized, wait a minute, I'm not even in this present moment because I'm so in the business world. And it's a tricky balance, because I do think both is important, but I've found throughout time that really being present with the kids, and having something prepared, and having an idea of exactly what we're doing in that day, adding in flexibility, because rarely we actually end up doing exactly what I had planned. And I think that that's part of people, forest schools, teachers, we got to be adaptable.
Mhm.
But I think that I overthought certain things a little bit too much, that all actually kind of fell into place. So if I could go back, I think I wouldn't even worry about a website quite yet.
And so, if we were to write that, like nature school founders or people thinking about it, the number one thing, don't worry about a website.
Yeah.
Just dig into what the kiddos need, maybe make a plan, but also be equally as flexible, that you may even never touch the plan, but maybe it gives a sense of direction, and then the kids can take us all kinds of directions. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, and also, we're not going to be put in a box. I am Waldorf inspired and also forest school inspired, but when it comes down to exactly how we're doing each thing, we really just need to be heart inspired. We really just need to be right down with the kiddos and connected with them. And there's not really even a formula that I could say really one all or fits everybody
Mhm.
best for that. You just got to be connected with the kiddos. Maybe that's the formula. Waldorf, forest school, nature school, Reggio, all of these things, it could kind of just put you in a box and make you overthink the method as well.
Yeah. Do you tend to use an emergent curriculum, or do you, yeah.
Yeah, we really have a marriage of Waldorf and forest school, but then also even some traditional schooling too, as the kids get curious, and they would like to kind of practice holding a pencil and learning their letters and numbers, and if they want to do that and are ready for that, I'm excited to offer that for them, because if they're excited to learn, they're gonna learn. But it's got to be kind of their idea, and that's the child-led philosophy that we really follow.
I love that. I've seen so many different approaches, and I'm sure this will resonate with you too, but I think withholding opportunities is almost just as troublesome as pushing that learning, but withholding it creates issues as well. So it's really providing the opportunity and letting the kids kind of, approach it in their own way and be empowered with that. That kind of goes, I have a motto of, more education with kids and not to them. So I love
That's right.
that fits right along with that. Um,
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
Thank you. It kind of inspires a story. When I had my nature school, um, I didn't start off as a nature school. I started off not liking what I saw, thought I could do better, started doing exactly what I didn't like what that I saw. That's that behavior change that we have to intentionally do. But when I finally relaxed and let the kiddos kind of drive the day, um, I'll never forget, they found a ladybug on a branch and they were all kind of gathered around. And just through their own inquiry and me more stepping back and waiting to be invited in, and I was just kind of doing this thing, they actually questioned if space had a smell. And it was just this evolution of inquiry. And um, yeah, I think without time and space, that if giving that to kiddos ensures that they have that time and space. And so that balance of providing the riding opportunities as well as that freedom to just play and ask those questions. So,
Absolutely. Child curiosity leads us to a curriculum we never would have thought of. So it is so important to just have that. It's good to have things in your back pocket,
yeah.
if there's an energy of boredom.
Uh-huh.
But really when we just take those kids to the forest, the curriculum reveals itself. I might think that we're going to study leaves on a certain day, but actually we're really learning about space and time, just
Yeah.
like you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's why I love serving nature schools is
Yeah.
there's there's a different kind of freedom and intentionality at the same time, which is just
Yeah.
so exciting. Okay, and then so how can do you help other nature schools get started? How can people reach out to you for, yeah, for your work or yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I would be happy to help. And I do get people who reach out to me and there's so many things to consider, like even licensing and the business side of it. I know I said I maybe overthought it, but it's really important to think about and then down to like the rhythm of the day and the percentage of time that we let the kids free play versus when we have structured, there's a lot to really consider here. And so I always am in communication with folks who are looking into starting their own school. My personal page is where I'm most active on
Okay.
Facebook. That's just Kaylea Worm.
Okay.
Earthworm Forest School. My school does have a page, but I tend to neglect it. But my personal page, I post insights on what I'm doing with the children and why, and it's a good place to get in touch with me.
Okay. And before I share with everyone how to, if you're interested in, behavior strategies and stuff, Kaylee, would you show us your beautiful building? I And
Yes.
you can hear the children inside so happy.
And
Oh,
here, I'll give you a little peek of the
yes,
schoolhouse. I love forest schools, but I'm not a purist, and we had to have an inside zone in
love
in
it.
this Colorado weather.
Yes.
So this is our
Oh,
sweet little
beautiful.
building here. There's one little girly here.
Thank you,
Yes, and we have an acre of land with horses and goats and chickens, and then it's just a short walk to the forest.
That's amazing.
We'd like to say.
Um, all right. And then, everyone, if you are looking for, support with behavior, if your setting is set up in a way that is so beautiful and that's what the kiddos needs, you've taken the four walls away. And if there's still some pieces that need clicked in, if you're ready to get your team on the same page in understanding behavior, that function of behavior, that need kiddos really meet their own need, right? You can reach out to me. And I think the best place to do that would be through my Facebook group. Positive Behavior Guide for Nature Schools. And so I will be posting Kaylea's links in the description and mine. And Kaylea, thank you so much for giving your golden nuggets of wisdom and doing the amazing, beautiful work that you're doing that is so needed. So
Thank you so much, Megan. This was so much fun.
these little short little clips, these interviews. So, all right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. And with that, we will talk later. Bye.